Well, hello everyone. Oh man, am I ever pumped. We're less than 48 hours until the campaign for Cities of Venus comes to a conclusion, and man, what a ride. This has been crazy. How well this campaign has gone. They always say that luck is when opportunity meets preparation, and I certainly think that's the case here. We had a lot of strategies going into this campaign, designed to reach a certain objective, and we smashed the objective. We're past that objective, but just getting to some of the key objectives we had. It was a pretty meticulous plan we had. First one being that we wanted to hit $100,000 in funding. We had never hit like six figures in our local currency, but still six figures on a campaign yet. This is our sixth campaign that we're running. Second big objective that we wanted to hit was 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 kind of backers, which we did. And likewise, that was a huge milestone for us. So we couldn't be more happy than we are now, and I just want to extend my thank you to everyone that supported this campaign, from both Adam and myself, my brother, who's also a co-designer on Cities of Venus. We're very pleased where we ended up. We know that we're now entering this back hockey stick, which hey, how's it going, Eric? We're entering the hockey stick, right? We're going into this kind of final 48 hours where you usually see a big lift going into that last day, and I don't know where it's going to end up. The predictions show that we're probably going to hit 130 according to BackerKit. I'm hoping to hit 136. And if we can hit 136 in local currency, that is 100 US. So that's a six-figure club officially, if in the currency that most people measure it in. So that's kind of where we want to get to. I think that would be an amazing milestone. But certainly we're more than ecstatic with where we've landed so far. There's been a lot of great feedback during this campaign. We had a lot of reviewers provide good feedback. We made some adjustments as we went along. We've had a lot of people who have been following the campaign who have given their input, and we've taken that input and we've injected it into some of the cards and things we're going to be working on going forward. And I think that all of that's going to make this an even better game. Really cool things like some things that might seem obvious that most games have is some kind of mechanism or some kind of card that allows you to. I saying great. How are things going? Things are going great, Eric. I'm just doing a recap of. I just started literally, so hopefully you can stay for a few minutes. Throw your questions at me. I know we chatted the other day, but throw any questions you have at me. I'll answer them along the way. So. As I was saying, is that some of these cards that might seem obvious that we didn't have in this game. So one that you see in a lot of games is the ability to go through the discard pile and pick out a card that's already been discarded. So we're looking at working in some kind of a mechanism, either an event, probably a card or a bonus power that allows you to go through the discard pile, and that allows you to recover lost canisters. We think that'll be a really cool idea. We had another backer who suggested like a sports event. So we added this cool little mechanism where there's going to be an event where everyone takes 5 meeples and they roll them. And again, these meeples, 90% of the time land on their back or on their side. So the first person to get one of these land on their feet wins that Olympics. Of course, for trademark reasons, we can't call it Olympics, so we'll call it like the Venusian Games. And the first person to land on their feet wins and gets 4 mineral points. We've added some other thoughts. People are talking about different types of things happening. One was atmospheric mining. So maybe there's a way for people to add like 1 gem, which isn't a huge amount, but it can add up over a game to their supply every turn. Things like that. So these different abilities and different things we're looking at injecting into this game. And it's been based on the backers providing their feedback. So thank you to each and every one of you who backed us or have backed us or thinking of backing us, but at least gave us your thoughts and suggestions. We really do appreciate it. Welcome, Bits and Cartoons. Is it cartoons or cartoons? Cartoons, I guess. Welcome. We're talking about Cities of Venus. Very excited. So, and I'm wearing my number one Darth Vader dad shirt today for good luck that my kids gave me, drinking out of my Darth Vader mug. And just excited that our campaign's going as well as it is. We've got less than 2 days left. So we're entering the final, I think right now, final 38 hours. Tomorrow's the final day of our campaign. And it's all guns a-blazing. We've got e-blast going out, text blast going out, different things to try to get anything we can to squeeze the last little bit of juice out of this fruit, so to speak. So that's tomorrow. So I thought we'd go through our page tonight and answer any questions people have. I'm going to talk about the campaign as if people haven't heard about the campaign, so they understand what it is we're talking about for those who are just jumping in and joining us. But we're talking about this Kickstarter campaign called Cities of Venus. And this campaign has been going for almost a month now. We got a couple days left. Well, not a couple days. We got a day and a half left. And it's funded quite well for us. We've been very, very happy. So we're currently at... I'm going to refresh my screen here because sometimes the number isn't always current. Okay, so we're at 1,111 backers. What a crazy number. It's just kind of cool to sit at the number here for a second and just think about the meaning behind that. I know a lot of people in numerology like any kind of 1111 number that shows up. It's usually good vibes. 118,000. And hopefully by the time we finish tonight, I think we'll probably be at 119. I might get lucky, might get up to 120. Depends on the kind of rally we have before midnight. But if we get to 120, that would be excellent because that put us well away on our way to that target of 136. So what is Cities of Venus? Cities of Venus is we're calling a medium lightweight Euro. Plays 1 to 4 players. It expands to 1 to 6. So we've got 2 pledge levels. The second pledge level gets you up to a 6-player game for those people who like to have big game nights and they have a lot of people come over. It's roughly 15 minutes a player, and that's an accurate number. So if it's 4 people playing, you're going to finish in about an hour. If there's 6 people playing, the game's going to go about an hour and probably 20 minutes, maybe an hour and 15. It plays very quickly. There's a lot of simultaneous play. So everybody's doing most of the steps in the game at the same time, and that really keeps things moving along at a fair clip. There's less chance that you're going to be having any downtime. Quite frankly, there's no downtime in this game as you go along. You're just, you always have something going on, and before you know it, the game's done. You're like, whoa, where did that time go? Because you're constantly, managing your ship. So the synopsis here is the year 2222. The people of Earth have established floating city-states in the clouds of Venus. To provide aid, Earth is periodically sending immigrants and city upgrades in the form of cloud drops. However, a catastrophe occurred on Earth, cutting off communication with Venus. No one knows when the last drop from Earth will come. As one of these cities' governors, you must compete against other players to establish dominance for your city's survival, strategically grow and upgrade your city, deploy your scientists to the International Innovation Station, prepare for the inevitable hazardous events, and mine the surface for priceless Venite minerals. You must make the most of every cloud drop from Earth. The next one may be the last. And how we signify that is at some point in the third phase. So there's 3 phases that the drop deck goes through. So every round there's a drop, and I'm going to show you these drops in a second. But you shuffle the Earth card into the third phase of the drop deck, and when that comes up, that's the end of the game. That's the last drop coming from Earth. So the game could last anywhere from 10 to 12 rounds, essentially, is how this goes. And that is, it kind of keeps you guessing because you don't know when the last drop's going to come. So there's a little bit of pressure luck as you get into the later phase of the game, because sometimes you want to go for more victory points in order to, maybe overtake another player. And if you make a move that impacts you drastically on that turn, assuming that you're not going to have another turn, and then another turn comes up, you could be cooked. So there's a little bit of a pressure luck there. So as I said, it's worker placement, tableau building, resource gathering, mechanics. We do have premium standard components in every game. So every game is going to have these mining mechs in it. These ones are painted. We painted these ones. My niece did these, but anyone can paint their mechs, but they are going to come ink washed if you don't paint mechs, and otherwise you can paint them yourselves. The reason why you want to back this campaign is this is an independent publisher. Tin Robot Games, I'm literally is myself and Adam, right? This is our side hustle. This is something we do in our spare time because we love it, and we just love putting joy on other people's faces when they see them play our games. So by backing this game, you're backing an independent publisher. You're also getting an exclusive version of this game. So I've had now 10 different retailers reach out to me and one distributor saying, hey, where's the retailer pricing? I'd love to have this in our store. We'll buy a bunch of copies off you. And unfortunately, in each of those cases, we had to say no. This is just a Kickstarter edition only. We're not selling this at retail. You might be able to get it from us at like a board game convention. But other than that, if you're not getting this on Kickstarter, you're not getting this game. There will be a watered down version we will do at retail, but it's going to be missing more than half of what comes in this box. Won't be in the retail edition of this game. And I'll get into that in a second. So how do you play? Well, the play goes through these different steps, and you do them in sequence, and everybody does them together. And once you go through the first kind of round, it's very clear on how to set yourself up and go through these different steps, and then everyone just keeps going in simultaneous fashion. So the first step is the drop. So these are the resources coming from Earth through the clouds. They are a combination of immigration, so engineers being sent to help you, upgrade different departments in your city, and also mechanical upgrades, things that can make your city do better stuff, right? Maybe give you better capacity, or give you abilities maybe that you don't have in a regular round. And these things, when you get them, if it's a population boost, an immigration boost, it goes to the side of your board, and you keep that card just in case there's victory points on it, which there are. Card count is also the tiebreaker at the end of the game. But then if you have a card that actually upgrades your city, it physically plugs into your board. And I'm going to show you this in a second, but it looks really, really cool. On the cards in this drop, you'll see that we have cards that might show up that have these little caution symbols on them. And these represent events that are occurring. So you have to resolve events based on the number of the cards that show up in the drop with these symbols. Now, so that we're not killing people like on the first round, what we do is we cap that to the phase you're in. So if you're in the phase 1, which is the top third of the deck, no matter how many of these symbols show up, you're only going to resolve one event. If you're in the second phase, then you resolve up to 2 events, third phase up to 3, and so on. Each of these events usually has something bad that's happening to you. There are some cards that will give you a temporary immigration boost, but it's mainly bad. Things are tough on Venus, and your goal is to survive, right? So we're trying to simulate this kind of harsh environment, and so it's designed purposefully this way. Next, you want to erode your shields. Your shields, essentially, you're burning a person from your department. This is happening every round. This is why it's important to keep an eye on your shields. You want to keep growing your shields, adding people to this department, because it's constantly eroding. There are innovations you can get later on that will help stop that from happening, but for the most part, you're constantly losing people from your ship. We get in the population growth phase or step. This next step is you take whichever of these 2 departments, the food department and your water air, whichever has the lowest number of VNaughts, that's our little meeples, represents your population growth for that round. So in this case, you got 4 people in the food crop area. You've got 3 people in the water air section. So your population is going to grow by 3. You can deploy those 3 people wherever you want, including the innovation station. And that's this next little graphic you see here. Is there's a market that's established, and the market has cards that once one innovation's taken, it'll reveal another innovation that's different than the one that was above it, and so forth. And once you have 8 VNaughts that you've deployed to the International Innovation Station, you get to choose one of these upgrades from the market. And these are super powerful upgrades. They're much, much stronger than anything you'd have in a typical drop. Again, you plug these into your board, and they each come with victory points as well. Then we get into the city action phase. This is where most of the stuff happens. So everything else is kind of prepping up into this point on your tableau. In this step, you're going to equip canisters maybe that you've reserved. And I'll talk about reserving in a second. You can mine. You're basically burning somebody from your mining department. That allows you then to roll for minerals. Minerals you need to buy stuff. They also count towards victory points at the end of the game. Or you can also exchange 4 minerals for a VNaught. And this is like a bit of a catch-up mechanism in population. If you've had a department get decimated, you can then buy meeples, 1 per round, in this phase or in this step in order to help replenish some of your departments. This is also where the power cards are utilized. So there's one that allows you to move people throughout your station. There's another one that allows you to send VNaughts to the International Innovation Station from your actual board. So that's extra people you're sending to the IIS. This all happens during the city action phase or step. Then we get a step 6, which is claiming a canister. This is the only thing we do in player turn order. Everything else is simultaneous and taking turns. And of course, the first player marker is going to move. Every round will move to the next person clockwise, so everyone gets equal turn. And you get first grab of a canister. And you grab a canister based on the cost on that canister. The cost is along the side. In this case, you can see that the person can see they've got to take somebody from air, something from water, a mechanic, and I think the other one was like food. Take a person from each of those departments. That's how you pay for the canister. You take that canister, you plug it into your board immediately. That can help you upgrade the capacity of your departments. It might have a power associated with it, a special ability, a lot of cool stuff. If it is a card that boosts your population, like an immigration card, those cards then would simply just be put to the side of your player board, again, for endgame scoring. Now, if you want a canister, but you can't afford it, you have the ability to actually reserve it. You can take it, and you can put it on the bottom of your player board in the holding bay. It's not active, but it's there as a hold, essentially, as a reservation. And then in the city action phase in a later turn, if you have the resources to pay for that, you can then equip that canister, as long as you're also paying an additional mechanic in order to pay for that canister. Now, some have said to me, well, do you use this just to keep somebody else from getting a certain card? Technically, you could do that. However, we've got kind of this we call it the anti-debag rule, where if you don't equip that canister, you lose 2 victory points at the end of the game. In this game, the top 2 players usually finish within 1 or 2 points of each other, so that can be pretty hard-hitting. So it de-incentivizes you from just grabbing a canister to be that guy, and really grab a canister because it's a canister you want to get. As I said at the end of the game, once the Earth card comes up, this signifies that the game has come to an end. You finish out that round and you count up your victory points. Now, victory points in this game is essentially the point on cards. It's also 1 victory point for every 2 VNaughts that you have in your city. Now, VNaughts you have in the International Space Station don't count, but anything you have in your city do. You get 1 victory point for every 4 mineral points at the end of the game. And then you also get bonus points if you have the most populous city amongst all the players. You get 2 bonus points. Also, if you've got the most minerals, if you're the richest nation, you also get 2 victory points at the end of the game. And that's basically how you play the game. Now, there's been some really cool things we revealed during this campaign. It's been going for a month, and we've tried to pace these out. Again, just to keep the conversation going. So the first one is that a solo mode. So that was the first thing we announced, is we have a solo mode that's coming with this game. So every game also comes with a solo mode. And the premise behind the solo mode is it is a prequel. So it's about 20 years before the Cities of the Venus multiplayer is a solo version, right? So it's one of these cities, back when resources are coming from Earth aplenty and there's no risk that we're losing contact from Earth. But the premise behind this is something bad has happened, like a piece of satellite or something has hit the ship, hit your city, and it's literally wiped out all your population, and you're the lone survivor of this city. And your job is to keep the city afloat, help get it rebuilt up, get the different departments going, and keep that going while you wait for help to come from Earth, essentially. Tripping over my words, but you're waiting for help to come from Earth, and that signifies when the Earth card comes up as well. So mechanically very similar to the multiplayer game, some slight differences, and it is a win-lose condition because you can very much crash your ship in this mode. So you have to get up to certain requirements in order to say that you've actually successfully kept the ship afloat. And then we're going to have objectives you also have to hit, which will be randomly decided at the beginning of the game. And this keeps the playability going because every time you play the game again, it's going to be different. And it's very difficult. The second one we had come up was our scorekeeping web app. Very excited about this. There's a lot of games out there that have, you need to pull a pad of paper and you got to do all the math. And it's funny is I'll look around the table in these games and I always see everybody pull out their calculators. Not necessarily to do the math for them, but just so they don't lose their place as they're adding up their scores. And what the web app does, it prompts you, how many minerals did you have? What was your population? What's victory points on your cards? Did you have a canister still sitting in your holding bay at the end of the game? You fill this information in and it spits your score at the bottom, and then it'll highlight who the winner is of the game. So very, very handy. This will be accessible through a QR code in the back of our rule book, and it'll be web-based so we can continue to update it. The next is ink washed minis. We just announced this last week. Very excited about this. So these minis, including the first player marker, are going to be ink washed. Ink washing, as you can see, gives the minis way more detail than you normally see. And man, it's just a cool feature. I absolutely love it when I see minis like this. So we wanted to make sure we include this in the game as well. We do have a fourth reveal coming tomorrow. I typically actually just put it on the page without any announcement at midnight on the Monday. So I'll probably do that tonight. But then tomorrow, official announcement will go out on what the fourth reveal is. The fourth reveal is really cool. We originally only had 3 reveals. And I had to talk with the factory about this and make sure it was something we could do within our budget. We were able to trim in a couple areas, which was good. We were able to get our mold cost down significantly, which really helped because there's another thing that we're going to do after the campaign closes. Anybody that backed an actual game is going to get bonused out with yet another kind of post-campaign reveal. And that's just to reward the people who actually backed the game during the campaign. That's a commitment that helped us keep our algorithms up and helped us have a good, strong finish to this game. So we want to reward those people. It's a pretty cool thing coming. It'll be interesting to see how it's received, but it's cool. It's cool. Our pledge levels, as I said, we've got 2 pledge levels. We've got a 2 to 4 player game plus a solo version, so it's a 1 to 4 player game. And that comes with a neoprene mat, stitched, super high quality neoprene mat, 4 mining mechs. They hold your meeples and your dice. You can paint them, which make them look really, really cool. There's 4 ultra premium quad layer player boards. I'm going to actually shift my screen here real quick. Let me see if I can do this. There we are. And move some stuff around and pick it up. So I've got it in here. You can see I've just got some credit cards in here. But this is basically the function is you've got this ability where you've got these things that these windows that show up. I have mine in here because I'm in a basement, which is very, very not super dry, and things warp very, very easily down here. So I keep my stuff in there. But let me show you this. Ah, there's one. Okay, so this is a shield. I'll show it here. So you take the card. Even comes with sound effects. And it slides right into your board, like so. And when you slide into your board, there's a little window here that will pop up that will show you like a power that you've got. So let's see if I can find another one here. I got a couple. Welcome, Meeple Fun. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let me see if I can find it. Do I have one at the window? I don't have one at the window here. Ah, well. You can definitely see it on the page, but it's super cool. So they fit into these boards. They look super awesome. And this is something that took us a lot of time to develop. Like literally I was working on that for a good year. I naively thought that I could just say to the plant, hey, this is something I want to do and this is how it would function. And they would just kind of come back with a design. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. I had to actually design it and do the die lines and everything ourselves and go through iterations and mock it up on this end and then send video of what we're trying to do. And it was a very long process, but we got it and they look awesome. We're going to do some more tweaks to it. We're going to add a couple more windows. So this one here, again, if I can, there you go. We're going to put some windows up in here. So on the water and air and in the food, we're going to have peekaboo windows as well. So we can add bonus powers. And then likewise, we're thinking the shapes of the reveal windows are going to make round. That again helps protect against any warping as well. So we're still tweaking those, and those tweaks will be finished, in the next couple weeks. All right. So this is the board. You can see it looks super cool as everything plugs in. Little peekaboo window shows the powers. These little shields showing up there. There's at the bottom the holding bay so you can reserve cards. And again, super proud of these boards. It's pretty unanimous across the board when reviewers looked at our game. They said these boards are awesome. Absolutely awesome. Even the Dice Tower commented on it, which is pretty cool to see that this past week. 86 Cloud Drop cards, 22 event cards, 24 innovation cards, 4 International Innovation Station player boards, 200 VNOT meeples, 135 acrylic gems, 4 marble dice, D6 dice, rocket-shaped meeple bowls, 3 volcano resource trays. We've got the rule book, spot UV in the box, and inside lid printing. That's something I always include. So we didn't want to do stretch goals where we take this away and give it back to you. It's just there from the beginning. It's the most premium game we can make. Extended pledge level. This is for the up to 6-player game. This gives you 2 more mining mechs, another 24 cloud drop cards, which are unique to the 6-player game, 8 additional event cards, 16 innovation cards, 50 VNOT meeples, 2 D6 marble dice, 1 rocket-shaped resource bowl, 3 volcano resource trays, 2 mini IIS boards, and 2 more quad layer player boards. So when you look at our side by each comparison here, you're getting 110 more components in the 6-player game, and there is some specific exclusive content for that 6-player level. We also have this cool first player marker mini add-on, and these are going to be ink washed as well. How to play, lots of how to play videos. We've got in English, French, and Italian. And I had someone just actually create a preview in, I think, Portuguese. Yeah, Portuguese video is just done as well. So I might even put that one up tomorrow too. We'll see. Previews, lots of preview videos. And then we've got a lot of great reviews here as well. I'm very happy with the reviewer content that came back on the game. It's always a roll of the dice. Pun intended, I guess, but we got a lot of great feedback, which is awesome. So a quick shout out to the crew. So myself, First Officer Adam, my brother, and co-designer. We got Daniel Kuna, who's the illustrator, did a great job on all the artwork. Marco, or we call him Mackie, he took care of all the graphical frames around the cards. We got Stephen Hill, who's a rule scrubber. He's also working on Architects of Venus. And then we got Caitlin Summers, who helped with the Kickstarter page along with some of the social media content. Of course, Backer Kit's been just amazing on this campaign. They've done just phenomenal. I couldn't recommend them more. And you can follow us on any of our social media handles. There's tons. We're looking for more people to join our Discord channel, so I'd love it if you would. Tabletop Simulator, you can play this game right now. You can play 2 to 4 players on Tabletop Simulator. Drop me a note. I'll even play with you. Lots of fun. We love it. This game turned out quite well on Tabletop Simulator. In fact, you've got a lot of scripting in there, so that a lot of it's automated. So you basically start playing with the click of the button. There's not a lot of setup or anything for this game. And we have what we call EU friendly shipping. So it's actually friendly shipping to the EU, the UK, Canada, USA, and essentially what that means is you're not paying duties when your game arrives. We do charge taxes, and at the same time we do our shipping costs in the Pledge Manager, but certainly you don't have to worry about getting hit with duties when your game arrives. And we just had Adam join us. Welcome, Adam. So what's next? We've got a couple things that we're working on for when we're done this campaign. We've already been working on it very hard, actually. The first and foremost, what I want to say is we've got the sequel coming, which is Survivors of Venus. We're super excited about that. It is going to be awesome. We are ecstatic about Survivors of Venus. I think it's going to be cool. It's a polyomino game. It's got a pretty cool hook. And I'm hoping to play test it at the upcoming Protospiel here in Toronto in June. So we're going to do that. We've got Architects of Venus, which is the prequel. That's the designing of the cities themselves. That's a roll and write, which was designed by Stephen Hill. That we're trying to decide when we're going to launch that. I'm thinking we may do it in conjunction with Survivors of Venus, or we might do a standalone pre-order at some point between now and when we do Survivors. We got to kind of play it by ear. I got to figure that out, but it could be a print and play, or we might do it as a He's just joining from his TikTok too as well. As a print to play, or we might even do it as like an actual physical game that we ship, in which case it'd be wipeable boards and things like that. So we got to play that out. We also have card packs that we plan to launch. So probably once a year as long as there's demand there. So people can keep refreshing their game. We're going to come with additional card packs that do different things, different abilities, different cool things we come up with. And those, when we do those, will be through pre-order straight from our website. We'll do a call out to people when they're ready. And those will ship from China straight to the people who want them, so that we can get them for the lowest possible cost. So they're really just to refresh your game. So that's kind of Cities of Venus as a whole. Feel free to shoot me any questions you guys have. We're more than happy to answer. A couple other things we're working on. You might see here behind me. Catnip Auction House, which is in final assembly now. This is shipping. This is going to be on a boat probably next week, and also on an airplane, because we're hoping to be able to sell this game at Origins. And right now it's available on pre-order. Anybody who wants to check out Catnip Auction House, just simply go to timrobotgames.com, and there's a pre-order there. If you use the code MEOW, you get $10 off. So some cool savings there. So yeah, that's Catnip Auction House. That's coming soon. And also we're working on, I'll grab this one here. Time Splicers. So this is a prototype that we've got that we're going to be playing at Protospiel North as well, and in a couple weeks. Very excited about it. We've had amazing feedback on it, surprisingly strong feedback on it out of the gate. Usually I brace myself for a lot of retooling. And take Survivors of Venus, for example. I mean, that game even after we had it built, we stripped it back down and broke it apart and rebuilt it again with some other mechanics and, jettisoned some other stuff. And is playing really, really awesome. But Time Splicers is kind of like everyone just loves it as it is, which is good. That is a good day. So we're going to be playing that. The time will tell us at the Protospiel event, see how it goes. And that one we might actually accelerate the retail launch in that one. Probably not Kickstarter. It's tough to do card games on Kickstarter. Just your acquisition cost is too high. Like if you look at current Cities of Venus, I think our acquisition cost is like $17 a person. Well, if you're selling your game for $30 with shipping and manufacturing and everything in there, you're not making any money, right? So these ones, you're better to do smaller runs and go straight to retail and do pre-orders through your website. So that's what we're going to do. And but we're very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. So we'll see how that goes. So that's the update for tonight. I'm going to come back online tomorrow. Tomorrow is kind of the last hurrah. It's it, right? The last day. So tomorrow night I'll be seeing everybody again, and hopefully answer any questions you guys have. And oh my gosh, the campaign's almost done. I can't believe this month has blown by. Anyway, everyone, I wish you all the best, and you take care. Cheers.